Thunderbolts stands apart from the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe in many ways, but especially in its deeply moving and emotional climax. Bob's transformation into the Void, a dark entity that transports everyone it touches into the most haunted moments of their past, made the movie immediately relatable from a mental health standpoint. Every now and then, people will pull me aside, or they'll say, "I really relate to Bob," Schreier revealed, adding, "Or people will hit me up saying that when they were going through a hard time, things felt the way it felt for the characters in the movie. I think, if you're going to tackle a subject like that, you want to do it with sensitivity," the director said. "Above all, you don't want to make it reductive. Even if we don't name it, which I'd prefer not to, I think they're real issues we've all faced at some point. I know that for everyone involved, certainly for Lewis and Florence and all our actors, it was just as important to them to try to portray these feelings in a way that felt honest." That approach to the finale of Thunderbolts, one in which empathy, not ability, saved the day, was the plan from the moment that it became a movie with Sentry, the Void, in it. Audiences picked up on the issues with introducing that character right away, Schreier said. People were saying, when the trailers came out, "What the heck are they going to do against a guy like that?" That was our challenge too. There is no earthbound level on which they're going to defeat a character like that. But on the other hand, that character was never meant to function in that way. It was always a parable for mental health, Schreier said, and we talked to Paul Jenkins and wanted to make sure that it honored that. Then, it just becomes this very, very careful set of building blocks from the moment the character's introduced. Building a relationship between him and Yelena, but also him and the entire team, and all the ways in which that is going to determine Bob's fate and thus the world's fate. Still, Schreier credited producer Brian Chapek with suggesting that the team actually enter the Void. It ended up being a great way to counter the action-heavy moments before it. The director said, "Okay, we've been out in New York, a crane has fallen, citizens have been saved. We needed to demonstrate that we could perform at the level of a more traditional comic book film. However, with this character, there is no straightforward resolution in that context. So, what is a whole other turn we can take to resolve it on that emotional level?" The director also revealed that audiences could have been treated to a glimpse inside the dark pasts of other Thunderbolts, at least if it wouldn't have taken away from the story. "We would have loved to," he said, responding to the idea. "If you can imagine an Alexei shame room, there are a lot of darkly fun ways that could go. And Bucky, we tried a ton of different versions of how that worked. In the end, structurally, it became more important to find their way out through Bob and his history. Because of that," Schreier added, "it didn't really allow us the space. Certain other characters, like Bucky, don't meet Bob until the end, so we didn't have room to show their void rooms, but we would have loved to. When people watch movies, they think they should have done this and that, but we considered it all. There is a very delicate structural balance that you have to find to make things work and keep it moving. And this scene is what we felt was the strongest for that." Thunderbolts started with a bang, literally, as Black Widow antagonist Taskmaster is shot in the head by Ava Starr, also known as Ghost. While the movie's marketing hinted at the idea that Taskmaster may not be a major player throughout, the cold-blooded kill still came as a surprise. Despite some circulating theories online, Jake Schreier clarified that the moment was not a last minute. But the story of Thunderbolts did change quite a bit over the course of its development. Once we came out of the strike, and we hadn't shot anything before the strike, we redeveloped the script for, I think, 5 months, Schreier revealed, continuing, "So it happened then. It's not as though we shot a movie and then changed it. It was in the shooting script, it's just that there had been shooting scripts where that didn't happen." The director explained the choice by sharing that as the screenplay was being examined and refined, we felt that the movie felt a little bloodless, which is not ideal for a movie about people who kill others for a living and don't think anything of it. To not have that represented or happen, Schreier said, felt like we weren't really paying off what we were saying about these characters. Schreier knew it was a big decision. It's no small thing to remove a character who is important to people, especially one portrayed by a wonderful actress like Olga, he said. We just felt, especially given that the team had been announced, that we couldn't just bring a new character into it and then off them. and that wouldn't have the significance of doing what we did. And we felt that there was value in seeing the way they perform their duties currently, and also hoping that, for the audience, it means, if they can do that, they could do anything. Taskmaster specifically was chosen in large part because of Yelena's place at the heart of the story. There is this slight relationship that Yelena has to her from Black Widow. There is a connection, and, we felt, that would give it more emotional resonance than if it were anyone else. The Thunderbolts, also known as New Avengers, will return in Avengers: Doomsday, a return that was announced even before Jake Schreier's movie hit theaters. But the Thunderbolts director insisted he didn't know much more than your average fan when it comes to what will happen in the film. Think we get to watch them pretty darn soon, he said, continuing. I, like everyone else, have to sit back and watch where this all goes in these massive Avengers films, see what happens and see where things sit after that. I have no inside info, the director said, although he did share that he has checked in with all of them as shooting has started and said, they're all having a great time. They're all such intriguing characters and I can't wait to see what they do with them. In October of 2022, the Marvel television special Werewolf by Night, directed by longtime franchise composer Michael Giacchino, introduced audiences to Man-Thing, a humanoid swamp monster and fan-favorite Marvel Comics character. And, according to a swirling rumor, Schreier really wanted Man-Thing to appear in Thunderbolts as well. When asked about it, though, Schreier said, "This is why I've got to be careful about what I say in these interviews. It is true that when I was pitching on the movie before I was the director of it, I did say that it would be fun if Man-Thing were in it. But I was unaware of Werewolf by Night, and this was before Sentry was in the movie. So once that became a part of it, we never looked back. I let Man-Thing go pretty quickly. It is accurate that I brought it up, but I didn't mean for it to be such a thing. It's amusing the way these things get out there." Hollywood trades like Deadline and Variety have reported that Schreier is in talks to helm the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first proper X-Men movie. But don't ask him about it just yet, or he will probably tell you what he told us. I need to reconsider this decision. I'm so sorry. I've got to. When asked an easier question, which X-Men character is his favorite, Schreier doubled down. I'm going to leave the X-Men questions untouched for now, if that's okay.